defense, leads the league in the amount of light boxes that they play with. I guess, what do they do that maybe could be advantageous for you guys in your run game?
Well, first off, they do a great job, like I said, with light boxes. Their interior guys do a great job of anchoring. You don't see a ton of movement. Their outside backers do a great job of setting the edge. So there's not a lot of space there, and the linebackers do an excellent job of fitting off of that. When backs are hesitant or they don't press the hole, then all of a sudden they how do you want the term of, play off the block and play back into the back. So you got to do a great job there trying to force their hand. Trying to force them to get an extra defender down there. And that's like any game plan.
They've been really good in the red zone. What do you see from their defense in the red zone? And of course, they're just doing a good job not giving up many points. What do you see?
It carries over from that. Like when you can play a light box and still stop the run, because we're really good in the red zone because we're able to run the football, and then when we're not, we have the equalizer in the ball. And that's, for us, we're lucky that way. And for them, it's like, okay, why are you good in the red zone? Because you stop people from running the ball. It just becomes more and more difficult to throw it. So we got to work it out for us. They're really good.
When you went back into the Pittsburgh game, other than the penalties and the turnovers, did you see any other reasons why you guys didn't get in the offensive flow as much as usual?
Well, they're good. They're good on defense. That's part of it. When you play good people and are well coached, they got good players. Obviously, turning the ball over is going to put a damper on that. The penalties that set you back, that put you, off track. We had some other opportunities for some big plays, which we didn't end up capitalizing on. To the naked eye, might not have seen it, but either a protection issue here, or just progressing, or the rail route justice that, most of the time we come down with it. We didn't. That's the plays you got to make. And but at the end of the day, we didn't play clean enough on the road. Didn't start fast enough, and that's what happens. We did give ourselves a chance, but didn't play good enough.
Todd, to kind of follow up on that, like Lamar talked about, needing to be more consistent on offense, points and that sort of thing. Again, aside from the penalties and kind of playing behind the sticks, just curious, like, what would that look like to you? And understanding it's different every week, but what would that consistency look like to you in terms of it?
Well, like most teams, it looks pretty simple. You're pretty good on first down and you're in front of the chains. And so you can dictate run pass. When you have the penalties, inefficient on first down run or pass. We were inefficient throwing it. We weren't as bad running it, we were just inefficient throwing it. And that hasn't been us. We're pretty good. We just, it happened a little bit in the Cincinnati game, penalties. Some inefficiency in what you're doing that set you back. And that's going to happen from time to time. But it's all of us. It's from coaching to play. We got to coach better, got to play better, to be as consistent as we're capable of, and we are.
Todd, what have you made of the ineligible downfield penalties that have seemed to pop up a little more frequently the last couple of weeks? Is it as simple as the ball not coming out on time? What do you make of that being more of an issue lately?
Well, some of it's RPOs where if we end up keeping it and then throwing it later, you're going to get called for it. The screen, if it gets delayed, we got to stay flatter, we got to dust it. We had one against the Bengals where they sent it back and said we had maintained contact and shouldn't have been. But we got to do a better job. Usually it shows up in the screen game, your RPOs. Some of that is the price of doing business, but we got to be a little more lateral, a little flatter.
How do you explain it seemed like Blakely and Aguilar were a little confused on that 2-point play with where they were lining up. Can you talk a little bit about that play and just the confusion maybe pre-snap? Did you see that confusion? Or?
I just think they were communicating. I didn't see it as much as confusion. It looks like that. Obviously, we didn't execute it at a high level, and obviously got to call it better. That goes along with every call that I make in the game. We got to execute better, got to call it better. We got to plan it better. Disappointing, just like the 2-point play we got against the Bengals was not disappointing. It was, it just, when it looks like that, I thought Lamar did a great job of trying to at least make a play. It just disappointing at a critical point of that. What you're paid to do is execute at a high level, starting with me and our players.
This is you know, when fans see this game, they see number one offense versus number one defense. Just what would you more describe this game as rather than just the number one versus number ones looking at it?
Well, every team's different. You know, and I say this every week, you can't carry over points and you can't carry over yards, like in execution. Like, you know, what's that got to do with this week? They're really good, we're really good. You know, that's why we're where we're at. You know? So we got to execute at a better clip. You know, we kind of saved ourselves at Cincinnati. You know, we really did. We really weren't playing very good. We got a turnover, and we're certainly capable of better. A lot of self-inflicting. Starting with coaching, how do we get our guys really dialed in? Okay, that's every team. Talk around the league. It's how do they get their guys really dialed in to what we're looking for, to get them to let their talent shine. And we're certainly capable of that. We're not where we're at this year without having done that. But to me, that's the biggest thing: is who's going to execute, you know, play in and play out, and have it look the way you want it to look. Because they're trying to get us behind the chains, and we're trying to stay on track. That's really the nature of the game.